Funding is the lifeblood of any business, but it is not always easy to get. Coastal Capital has an innovative way of loaning money to businesses that can help solve some of these issues. So with me is the founder and CEO, Kortney Murray. Great to have you back here. So tell me, what's the latest with Coastal Capital?
Well, thanks for having me back, Jane. Coastal Capital, over the last couple of years, as you know, COVID has been a little crazy for businesses, and lending in the business arena has been a little bit wishy-washy. So we had to kind of reinvent the way we were approaching business lending. And one of the things that I've created the mission around is really getting the narrative out there to change the way we're looking at lending and the equation. And so in the last couple of years, we've really put together a business model, and we're getting ready to going for our first 506c capital raise to allow debt for additional businesses out there with our way of lending.
Okay. So, well, explain your way of lending for people who maybe aren't familiar.
We are putting the human factor back into the lending equation. So as you know, 1950s, our lending equation was basically born from Bill Fair and Earl Isaac, and it's a algorithm that they use to lend through bank financing. And we are a financing company that lends to businesses, but I believe the algorithm really needs to be changed because through COVID, a score and things like that people should not be just lending based on a score. We have to look at the human aspect, the sweat equity of the business, the way the business is performing, not just the credit of the person running the company. Mm-hmm. And so we're really putting the human factor back into lending.
So you talked about the capital raise.
Yes.
It's a big step. So
it is.
Tell me about that, the process. How do you plan to use that for growth and your future strategy?
So the process has been very interesting, something I've never done before. I've learned a lot through the process, and we are at the ending stages of our PPM, which is the paperwork that has to be filed for the SIC to allow you to raise capital. And we are raising debt so we can allow for a diverse fund. We want to lend to more women. 30% of the funds we'd like to derive towards the women in business, as well as minority funding. And we'd also like to educate, because our younger youth is our future. And so the education on business finance is very important.
Yeah, interesting. And not something they really learn in school.
No,
so
not at all.
It's super helpful. Can you tell me more about what plans you have then for Coastal Capital in 2024?
Sure. So 2024 is going to be the year of education. We're going to put more webinars and really collaboration. We call it collaboration is the new currency at our company right now. Manufacturers and vendors who sell equipment, they had equipment that was on back order or not being manufactured on time. So a lot of their sales force have struggled to push their bottom line for cash flow. We want to educate more vendors, letting them understand how to sell in the economic times that we have with interest rates that are current. And so we really want the education aspect of the business to come out in 2024.
Yeah. Now, does that fit into your role of public speaking? Because I understood that you're going to be doing more public speaking. So how is that, like, what specifically are you looking to achieve with that? How does that fit into the business?
Sure. Education, again, public speaking for me is I'm coming out with a book. I'm not going to say the name of it right now because it will be probably the end of the year, but getting on that stage and educating more businesses that don't have the means to have mentorship or the studies that it takes. Maybe they can't get a financial planner in their business. A lot of businesses struggle at the beginning stages. And so getting on stage and educating multiple people at one time to know that there are different arms of financing out there. While they're business entrepreneurs, it's still the American dream. If we don't teach them, then they have, this is going to really help them in the future.
Well, sometimes you learn the hard way if you don't know, and that can be devastating. So now one particularly interesting initiative you're doing is accredited courses. So explain those. Who are these for? How does this also fit into Coastal Capital?
So it's funny, as an entrepreneur and moving forward, you have to say no to some projects and yes to other things that align with your mission and vision. And my mission and vision is to put accredited courses in colleges for people who want to become entrepreneurs or plan on working even in the workforce of any sort, to understand that they can protect themselves with an LLC, a corporation. They don't have to commingle their business and personal credit. So we want to start it in the colleges, and it will be a course on business funding and financing and the different arms and tools that get you there.
Awesome. What a great idea.
Yes.
Well, Kortney, great to get caught up on Coastal Capital. Great to see you again, and good luck as you pivot and kind of take a new,
Jane,
a new venture.
I loved being here.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.